What's up, y'all? Kaymon Farmer here once again. Got my guy, Coach Black, Mr. Dyron Anderson from Dog Pound Academy. What's up, man?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing well, bro.
Man. It's a blessing to
It
be here.
is. It really is, man. And I'm glad you reached out, bro, because I'm always looking forward to having conversations with people like yourself, influencers, trainers, people that's changing the game in a whole different way of doing things. And we just never seen what you're bringing to East Texas in East Texas. I haven't personally, and I've been here pretty much my whole life. So I really, really enjoy seeing what you're doing online. I appreciate your consistency of promoting what you're doing online. Because as you know, you can be the man or you can have this great product, but if you're not promoting and marketing, nobody gonna know about you.
Yeah. Truth be told, second to that, like you helped me with that, man. I seen, when I get up, every morning, I see you doing your thing, so it just pushes me to keep doing my thing, and me and you just holding each other accountable, man. Even though we may not talk each and every day, like me and you both show love to each other, and we hold each other accountable from a distance. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro. I be seeing you. I be like, yeah, he be on it, bro. He be on it, bro. So now I appreciate that. And I know you had brought up a comment, man, where somebody had commented and said that you was the Michael Jordan of their underdogs. Yeah. Man, you gotta dive into that, bro. You gotta,
man.
you gotta give us insight into that.
So yeah, man, a couple of my players have called me that, and parents and some of my friends, most of my friends, some family members as well, and I really didn't look at it like that. I always looked at it like I was doing something different. But that is true. Like the way I motivate and give players and others confidence, you barely hear about that. So it's a God-given talent. I truly believe it's a God-given talent. I'm gonna stand on that and just keep doing what I have to do to push others to be successful, including myself.
Yes, indeed, man. So that confidence, I feel like that confidence took my life to a whole nother level. So like what is some things that you're telling these kids because they may not understand fully what confidence does beyond the game. How are you expressing yourself when it comes to confidence to them and how it has helped you out and how you feel like them having that confidence in this game can help them in life?
Man, it just comes straight from the heart. That's why I always say I'm so different, because I was that kid that was counted out. I was that player that was counted out. And I just kept digging, and just kept pushing myself. So I tell it to my players, because they all have similar stories to me, and that's how we connect. I just tell them to keep striving, keep pushing. And, you know, even when things don't even look like it's going up, and it takes time to get up. So you just got to keep pushing, and you got to find that will and that still within yourself. And I just give them, blessings. God gave it to me, and I just give it to them. And they know I speak from the heart once again. I'm not lying to them. I just tell them what they need to hear to just keep pushing. I mean, we can always go to the negative side of things. Well, you didn't do this, you can't do this, da. We've been hearing that a lot. So I just come back with a different type of feedback, and they're like, well, even if they played in the game 2 points, well, coach, I didn't do so well. They will say, coach, I didn't do so well. I'm not even looking at that. I'm looking at, first off, we off the bench. That's the first mark. We off the bench. Last year we was on the bench. So I'm looking at that. If they hit
Progression.
yes, if you hit a free throw in the game and it's one point, or you hit two and it's 2 points, that's all right to me. To others it may not be like that, but that's what makes me so different. So they go from 2 points to 4 points to 6 points. Before you know it, they got a 20-point game.
Yeah, bro. No, I love that because actually I had discussed that earlier. Actually, I put it on my social media too. I was talking about how focusing on those daily small steps to build that large momentum, the big results.
Yeah.
It's all about the small steps, man. So if you can get 1% better with your confidence every day, like you said, before you look up, man, like at the end of the season or at the end of the off season, like that's a lot of confidence that you gain at the end of the off season. So talk about how important is the off season? How important is it for hoopers or young basketball players to be playing basketball during this time? Not just whenever the basketball season is about to start, but having that ball in their hand, bouncing the ball, jumping up and down, shooting. Like, how important is that?
Well, it's very important. Because we look at some of us look at the off season that's it's time for vacation or it's time to chill. I feel like even if you had the year that you wanted to have, you still can get better. And then I also feel like if you didn't have that year that you wanted, you gotta skip levels. You gotta go get it. I mean,
Real
I
talk.
truly believe you should train to do something towards your craft each and every day until you master it. And even after you master it, you keep going. I feel like none of my players have time to take days off. We don't have time for that. None of us in the NBA yet, none of us overseas yet. And even when we get there, because I do believe some of my players will eventually get there, got to still keep going. Now, waking up every morning, doing the same thing to progress and get better, sometimes that gets boring. Sometimes we get lazy, sometimes we don't want to do it. But we have to look back to the times we failed or the times we have to learn a lesson. And we just got to take that and keep striving. And I'm not saying it's easy.
Nah.
I tell my players all the time.
That's what makes it special.
Right, right. It would what also make me different is every time I show up to a training session or a workout, my players see the same Coach Black. So if they see me being consistent, they have no other choice but to be consistent because it starts with me. And I didn't think it was that serious at first when I started this. I didn't think players was really looking up to me like they do, but it's truly a blessing to have the youth looking up to me.
That is a blessing, man. For so many different reasons. But I always think about, like, if you can touch the youth, then you just added 10, 20, 30, 40, maybe more than that years to your legacy being told. Because eventually they're going to have kids one day.
Yeah.
And then they're going to have to tell their story. And if you help them the way that we know you're helping these kids, then they have to be authentic with their story and tell that, hey, Coach Black, he was one of those main influences that helped me get to this level. They helped me now get to this level. They helped me get to where I am today. Like, you have to go back to those stories. So, man, the off season, speaking of the off season, that was off season for me, like, personally. I didn't take it really, really serious there in high school. But college, whenever I did come in as a walk-on, I always came in with the chip on my shoulder, no matter if I was in the weight room, no matter if I was in the classroom, study hall, film, whatever it was, I was always locked in. And when that off season came, I knew I needed to get stronger. I knew I needed to get faster because I was so undersized. And so that was my time to really, really focus in and go all in and just be, like you said, become better than what I was yesterday or last season. And so, man, the off season that transformed my game forever. And it's some things that I did in the off season I still do today. Like,
Yeah, man. And that's same thing with me, man. I get up each and every morning. I run, I lift weights, I shoot. I go do that each and every day. And sometimes, hard for me,
yeah,
older now, 35 years old, but you got to just keep pushing. No excuses. You got to just keep going. I tell myself, just get to the gym. Once you get to the gym, you'll be fine. Just get to the gym. But anybody could just lay in the bed.
anybody.
And that delusional confidence, like me and you talked about before, man, that's real. I believe that's straight up real, having that confidence because, yeah, you could be going through this, you could be going through that, but just thinking of ideas and ways of how to better yourself is quite commendable, especially when you're down, especially when you thinking about giving up or thinking about this or thinking about that. Because we all look at things and look at days and we will say, if I could have did this, I would have, should have, could have. Man, I think that holds people back
It does.
because we look at our past and what we could. And truth be told, that's something I struggle with because I feel like if I would have done this, would I be in the NBA? Would I be doing this? Would I be doing that? But I have got better. You got to keep going. Got to keep. We're not looking behind. We got to keep going straight forward.
Yeah, that's true, man. Because I find my times where I'm looking into the past as well, but I feel like we're on a trajectory right now that's so special to where it's like we're excited about the future,
Yeah.
but we remember the past because that's what built us who we are today and the present, and it helped us get here to even be working towards the things that we're envisioning in the future. So man, I enjoy life like every day,
That's real.
like every single day, bro. Like I'm looking, how do I win today?
Right.
Like what we finna do today? What we finna get done? Like we finna win. Like however that look, like we gotta win today.
So for you, that confidence have always been there.
I would say over time it came. I gained a lot of confidence here in Pittsburgh, bro. Pittsburgh, Texas. I grew up with a lot of older kids at the time. My cousin Mark Farmer, all of them. Like I was always around older people, whether that was at the park, in the gym, at the football field, and then my family. Like just having that tight knit family. All my family is really from Pittsburgh,
Right,
so
right.
you always got like you never really go without support here in
Right.
Pittsburgh.
But you know what gave me my confidence?
What's that?
Not having support.
Mm.
That
Dang.
that took me to a different level. You know, we always talk about that, but I'm telling you, man, I had delusional confidence. Like I got to do this. I will do this. I used to talk myself into things, not even know how I'm gonna get there, but I just know I'm gonna get there. And I just had that confidence. I mean, for people to doubt me, it just added like for real, man. I don't think I'll be here today if people didn't doubt.
That's the underdog.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like
That's the
for real.
underdog,
Like
for
if
real.
somebody said I couldn't do something, I'm like, boom, okay. He said I can't do something. And I'm gonna add some extra stuff that they ain't even say. See, Mike, I took that from Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan said he would do that because if you tell me I can't do something, you might as well tell me I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do that, and that's how I took it. Now that could be extra, but that's how I took it. You shouldn't have doubted me.
Right.
And I just take that stuff. Still to this day, I just keep going.
Dang. So really, I love that mindset because that is similar. Because that was something I had to have as well. Because like I said, growing up with older kids, I was very competitive and just wanted to win. And so I had to go above and beyond. And I feel like that's where I kind of got that instilled in me, was hanging out with older kids, having to go above and beyond, trying to win. It was a lot bigger, a lot faster, probably a lot better. But at the end of the day, it was about competing and about just getting a win, some type of win. It don't even got to be the whole game, but just being on the court with them, that's a win. That gave me confidence. So now when I go back to the younger kid, it's like I'm more confident than a lot of those kids, and I'm probably more advanced or probably got more dog because of the level I was playing at. I just translated it back to being at the level that I was growing up with, as far as like the people at my age.
Man, that's real. And something I want to touch on. I don't believe someone can put that dog in you, man. I believe.
Dang.
I believe you got to have that within. I'm serious.
Yeah, it's something within. I feel like you can give them. I guess that would be the confidence. To believe they can go out and be that.
Yeah.
I would say that some people do have something different.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, obviously Michael Jordan, he had something different.
Right.
His abilities and all that, but he had something different within that made him achieve the things that he achieved. I do feel like you can instill the confidence and
Right. You give the
confidence. As far as the dog, like
man. Yeah.
you can train them. I mean, it just depends on what kind of dog they are. Like everybody ain't the same dog. Like
and that's something I struggle with because I will feel like all of my players just like me would have that pit bull, and it's like some of them, they got to grow up to that, But for me, I don't know, man. It was always in me. I've always been underdog. I've been cut from teams. I've been laughed at. I've been told to give it up. I've been told I've been too old. So all of that stuff just really, and just really kept me going. And then like with my players now, they're different. They're different, and they make me better. I'll tell you one thing, they're real different. When I say different, I mean some of them are really, they got that dog. They got that dog.
They have do you see a difference in between, how you have like the aggressive, the fighting dog, and then you got like the show dog.
Yeah.
Do you see a difference between that? But there's nothing wrong with the show dog either, because show dog to show up to the show and go get the bread.
Yeah.
And they can go win the whole competition. Like I know it's a different, I guess that would be more of like somebody that's super aggressive, somebody that's very like polished, skilled, just kind of finesse.
Right.
Talk about like how do you train those, like if they come to you first time, what is it that you're looking at to be like, what kind of dog is this? Or what
Yeah,
kind
truth
of
be
player
told,
is this?
I'm looking at how aggressive they are. If they miss a shot, do they hold their head up? Do they hold their head down? Is excuse. I hate excuses. If you do this, is excuse. Um, yeah, I just look at ways I can help them, but the first thing I do try to do is look at their aggressiveness, because I feel like that aggressiveness. I feel like if you throw the first punch in any fight, you have a chance.
You
You
got a
know,
chance.
I don't believe in you get hit in the mouth, and because you might get hit and that's it.
You know, be
You know,
concussed or
yeah,
woozy, whatever like
yeah,
that is.
yeah, yeah.
So that
So
aggressive level is like what you're definitely looking
that
at whenever
aggressive
they come
level
in.
and how much they believe in themselves and their self confidence and yeah, things like that. But I truly believe I can transform any athlete for sure.
I love that. So how is it that, because some like, and I've coached at the high school level where some coaches just don't reach the kids. How are you able to really reach those kids being yourself? And I know it's a difference between coaching at the high school level where kids are, they're just there at school and they just want to come out play basketball, and then your kids is like, no, I want to go above and beyond, or their parents are making them go above and beyond. But how are you able to reach them being yourself though?
Oh, just telling them my story, telling them what I've been through. I don't lie to my players. I don't really do the cursing and the yelling. It's straight positivity, and I reach them to. I come to their level. I get down to their level or high to their level, and I just tell them what it is, know what it is and what it ain't. And I'm just straightforward with. But I'm never beating them down, because I was that kid. You know, once upon a time, I was that kid that needed somebody to uplift me, or I needed somebody to give me a helping hand. So I just come out different. You know, I I treat them like they're mine. You know, I always look after them. Even after our training sessions are done and years down the line, most of my players come back and say thank you. And to me, that brings tears to my eyes, because I, I truly believe I did something great. And I'm not here for the pats on the back or this or that, but it does feel good when someone come back and acknowledge what did you do to change their life. So truth be told, man, it's not really about basketball. I just want them to be great individuals. You know,
In
I
life.
want them, yeah, in life. I want them to graduate. I want them to be respectful. Um, that carries more weight than a basketball. And I was always respectful, man. I was always respectful. I had a lot of growing up to do, but I tell it to my players: we all fall off. It's just what you're gonna do to get back.
Mm.
But I'm very, I reach them, like I'm very honest with them, and once again, I'm straightforward, and uh, I don't, I'm just there for them, man. And you know, even though I'm 35, I look like I'm 25, so
Yeah.
that's good too. That's good too.
That is. It really, I feel like it's a superpower, especially if you can get out there, you know, handle it a little bit.
No, that's
Not
true.
saying not a little bit, but you more than a little bit. Handle it, shoot it, run around, challenge them, get in the drill with them. Like that does make a difference, because now it's like they hear you telling it, but now they seeing you doing it. That's a whole different side of like. It's you like there's like two different sides of education for one,
Right.
and then two different sides of the belief system. So I feel like that's really great. And speaking of like education, man, who do you learn from?
Uh, uh, just in general, or
In general, as far as like
mentors?
the mentors, like how important is the mentors to you? Who are you learning from? How are you taking the information and applying it to your mission, your vision?
So my mentors, I'll be honest with you, every